Hey, Steve, Steve, okay? Yeah. Hey, is Steve okay? Yeah, he's good. He's good. He just had a little bit of a breakdown last night. He'll tell people what happened. Yes, he suddenly will. Okay, I'll get started. Live from our studios in Jackson, Michigan, the Tom O'Neill Memorial Studios at the Park Forest apartment complex. This is Steve Sporty Balls. That went well, didn't it? Here's Steve. And how you doing, everybody? Welcome to our return, as it were. Coming to you, as Harry said, from our little hacienda here at the Park Forest Studios, or not the Park Forest Studios, but here at the Tom O'Neill Memorial Studios in Park Forest in Jackson, Michigan. And we welcome you all to our little show. First things first, as you probably heard before we went on the air, yeah, I did fall apart for a while. I just thought everything would be easier, but as they say, nothing's easy. You just got to keep rolling along. So, what more can we do except just say thank you for uh, staying with us while I was down? And I learned a lot. I'm a fighter, I'm a survivor, and no one's going to get me down anymore. I am going to fight with all the life that is in me. So, thank you, everybody. I love you all very much. And nothing is ever going to be the same. We're going to be more wilder, more just more of the same as we have ever been as I try to adjust so the Dizzy Lou name can just there we go. There. Okay. I think I could just say it like this. We're here and get used to it. After that, I don't see anything else to say except we're back, baby. And we're here to make everybody aware that we're back. Okay, let's get to the Kanakas. And let's go to our first story. Let's get to the sports group. Let's get to the sports section. Let's give you an update on the three-headed horse. And that is the upcoming sports streaming venture between Disney, Fox, and Warner Brothers Discovery. And this comes from, of all places, Awful Announcing. The impending sports-centric streaming joint venture from Disney, ESPN, Fox, and Warner Brothers Discovery, affectionately known as Spulu, has gotten the very attention of Congress. On Wednesday, Representative Jared Naylor, Democrat of New Jersey, and Representative Joaquin Castro, Democrat of Texas, sent a letter to the CEOs of the companies mentioned, requesting answers about concerns over the competitive implications of the service. Nadler, by the way, is the ranking member of the House Judiciary Committee. And he said As programmers, your companies exert tremendous influence over pricing across the live sports ecosystem. Evening, Dandelion Fluff. How you doing? Glad you could find the show. And we're back better than ever, I hope. Nadler and Castro said in their letter to Disney's Bob Iger, Fox's Lachlan Murdoch, and Warner Brothers Discovery's David Zaslav. The letter went on to say the venture raises questions, as we say hello to Matt, Ed, and Eddie, about how this new offering will affect access, competition, and choice in the sports streaming universe. Without more complete information about the pricing, intent, and organization of this new venture, we are concerned that this consolidation will result in higher prices for consumers and less fair licensing terms for upstream sports leagues and downstream video distributors. Either way, you know who they are. Nadler and Castro requested answers by April 30th and asked that they please copy the Department of Justice in your response. Now, according to Variety, their list of questions includes: will the joint venture partners implement provisions to prevent anti-competitive sharing of prices or other competitively sensitive info among each other? The three corporations announced the unique partnership in February, saying they wanted to debut the sports-centric bundle in the fall of 2024. The joint venture service will bundle ESPN Plus and each of the company's linear TV networks with sports programming, which includes ABC, ESPN, ESPN2, ESPNU, SECN, ACCN, ESPN, for want more we can just say is ESPN3 and not ESPN News because they don't do sports news anymore. Fox, FS1, FS2, Big Ten Network, TNT, TBS, and True TV. Pricing for the services has yet to be announced. Now, pay TV provider Fubo filed a federal lawsuit in February to block the service's launch, alleging that it violates antitrust laws. Fubo CEO David Gandler called the venture an attempt to monopolize the sports streaming industry and eliminate competition, and added that the companies have engaged in a years-long campaign to block Fubo's innovative sports-first streaming business, resulting in significant harm to both Fubo and consumers. Yes, they care about the consumers, don't they? Per Bloomberg, the Justice Department has been planning to review the venture over possible consumer harm and antitrust concerns. Both WBD Chief David Zaslav and Fox CEO Lachlan Murdoch have positioned the service as targeting cord cutters and nevers instead of targeting current cable or streaming subscribers. So we'll find out more in the days, the weeks, and everything else to come. Okay, we continue on. Now, last night, if you got a chance to listen, it was somewhat of a sangui adieu to one of the greats in radio. The voice of almost anything. That's right. John Sterling, the soundtrack of New York City, and the soundtrack of all of our summers, the big moment, the man who, well, he started out as an Atlanta Braves broadcaster and then went to New York and became the Yankees' main voice. Who can ever forget every time the Yankees won, it was ball game over. The Yankees win. The Yankees win. His voice and epic calls have become an essential part of the Yankees' experience. For almost 4 decades, he has been the main voice of the New York Yankees. Whole generations of fans don't know a world in which he is not calling some of the most iconic moments in Major League Baseball history. Those who work in New York sports media have added context of working with Sterling or spending time around him. Now that he has announced his retirement, local media members chimed in with their favorite memories and thoughts on just how much the longtime broadcaster meant to the Yankees and New York City. We have to begin with the most iconic voices in New York sports radio history, Mike Francesa and Chris Mad Dog Russo. Francesa joined his old radio partner on Russo's High Heat show on the Major League Baseball Network to discuss Sterling. Things began with the duo petting. Quote, the radio broadcaster is the guy who is the soundtrack of a baseball team, and he is the one fans remember, the one that the city remembers, said Francesa. In October, the TV guys go away, network guys take over. They never have the great call. They never have the dramatic playoff call or World Series call. They don't work those games. The radio guys work those games. And Sterling worked every one of those great Yankee wins and great Yankee World Series wins and all the dynasty years of the 90s and became the soundtrack of New York City. Now, Russo shared similar sentiments. Quote, he has two great things that are very important. He's got a great voice and a great laugh. When he allows his partner to say something, he attributes with a wonderful, big, booming laugh. I think that goes a long way, too. He was blessed with a voice that he could take anywhere, to any octave, and it never broke. And that's the great voice. A voice like Jim Nantz has, like Sterling has, that big, booming, silky voice. And he had one of those great voices. He used that as an instrument. He played it like it was an instrument. He knew he had that voice, and he played that voice all the time for all of us to hear. Current WFAN radio hosts Bloomer Esiason and Greg Giannotti also shared their thoughts on Sterling on Tuesday's episode of Boomer and Gio. John deserves every bit of admiration and accolades he's going to get on Saturday. I'm really going to miss this. I can't even imagine going through a full baseball season without him. As long as the baseball season is, he provided so many fun moments throughout the summer and the dead times. Those two have been an iconic broadcasting duo. I don't know how else you could say it. Boomer said of Sterling and broadcast partner Susan Waldman, he's a treasure. Yankees TV voice and ESPN New York host Michael Kay wished that fans would get to hear Sterling call one more game for the sake of closure and appreciation. Quote, I don't know why he won't do one more game just to give people closure. People want to hear that one final game. They experienced that one final game, and they didn't know it was his one final game. Co-host Don La Greca agreed by saying, quote, we can't say we're surprised by this announcement because he's going to be 86 years old. The day was going to come sooner than later, and I just think people thought they knew the last game. And I just wonder when he sees the outpouring of emotion from the fans, whether given the opportunity to do just one last game, whether he would take that opportunity. WFAN host Keith McPherson paid tribute to Sterling on his Monday night show, recalling his interaction with the iconic announcer. Quote, as a Yankee fan, being able to break that wall down with two people you never envisioned meeting. First time I saw John, I could not stop smiling and laughing. Just seeing him and hearing his voice in person. John is the man. So many people want to copy other people in media or online instead of being themselves and blazing their own trail. That is something I'll take away from John Sterling. I don't want to be anyone else. I want to be an original, a one of a kind. John Sterling is an actual GOAT, the greatest of all time. Chris C. McDonald over at WFAN summed up just how important Sterling has been to the Yankees fan experience. Quote, every once in a while, there's a person who is bigger than the sport. That day is today. John Sterling was the soundtrack of my summers. He was the big moment. You waited for the big moment, and you knew it was going to be good. It wasn't over until Sterling told me so. That's how it's been forever for my entire life. And true words can never be said for legends. Legends like in radio, the voices of Harry Carey for the White Sox and Cubs. Hawk Harrelson, Ken the Hawk Harrelson for the White Sox TV. Of course, here in Michigan, only one name says it all: Ernie Harwell. That's two names, but still. Legendary Golden Tiger, Ernie Harwell. Paul Carey. The list is endless. John Sterling for the Yankees. Skip Carey, Pete Van Wieren, Ernie Johnson Sr. And yes, there is no more iconicer than the Los Angeles Dodgers' very own Vin Scully. To Mr. John Sterling, from all of us geeks who love listening to you and the Yankees, we paraphrase to use your iconic saying: career done, career enjoyed. John Sterling is the GOAT. John Sterling is the GOAT. And he will be missed by everyone. You may be a Yankee fan, you may not be a Yankee fan, but still, that voice, that baritone, was the voice of what baseball should be. Fun. Good luck, Mr. Sterling, in all that you do in your future endeavors. Your voice will be in our memories for a long time. And if the Yankees can do something unique, it would be to name that broadcast booth you were in. And in fact, to name the entire broadcast area of Yankee Stadium the John Sterling broadcast booth. That would be wonderful. Speaking of wild and wonderful, let's talk the WNBA. And we're going to do that. Despite airing only on cable, preferably on ESPN, Monday's WNBA draft shattered records for the league. Per our friends over at Sports Media Watch, the draft, which featured Iowa's Caitlin Clark going number 1 overall to the Indiana Fever, averaged a stunning 2, and I don't like the Price is Right, I'm rounding off to the nearest dollar, 2.5 million viewers. Unsurprising, that is a record audience for a WNBA draft. The previous record was 601,000 for the 2004 edition, which saw Diana Taurasi go number 1 overall. Not only was this the most watched WNBA draft ever, it was the most watched WNBA broadcast in over 2 decades. Back in 2000, the Memorial Day WNBA game between the Liberty and Comets drew 2.74 million viewers on NBC. The audience for the draft on Monday more than tripled the average viewership of last fall's WNBA finals, which averaged 728,000 viewers. That finals, was the most watched since 2003. The draft was also the first WNBA broadcast of any kind to crack 1 million viewers since 2008. After record-setting and, quite frankly, mind-boggling viewership for the 2024 NCAA tournament, Caitlin Clark has been in the WNBA for a whole day and is already breaking records. It remains to be seen whether or not her impact will continue throughout the 24 WNBA season, whether or not it will carry on past her Indiana Fever career. But the one data point we have so far in Clark's WNBA career seems to signal that the tidal wave she powered through the 23-24 college basketball season will continue through her inaugural WNBA season. The league's media partners have to be thrilled with her potential impact going forward, and we agree more. Well, we got one more little bon mot of entertainment news. Well, not entertainment, but you know what I mean. Long time ago, Chris Ilitch announced that he was thinking of, well, he was thinking of buying Bally Sports Detroit and taking that and becoming a regional sports network, Detroit centric, airing Tiger baseball, Red Wing hockey, Pistons basketball, and anything else. When Fox Sports Net was about to be sold off by Disney. But nothing more became of it, just words. We were all waiting for the moment when Chris Ilitch would announce plans for the Detroit-centric, or official plans for the Detroit-centric sports network to begin. It never materialized. Well, maybe Chris Ilitch had better sit down because one sports network is about to trump him. And that is coming from a man who has been more a evil genius, if you will, in Chicago than in Detroit. That's right. Chicago's pro sports teams, the Bulls, White Sox, and Blackhawks, are set to depart their regional sports network, NBC Sports Chicago, and turn multi-platform media company Stadium into their new local channel. The teams, which are led by Bulls and Sox chairman Jerry Reinsdorf, have a joint contract with the Comcast-owned NBC Sports Chicago that runs out in October. And according to the Sun-Times, they seem intent on moving over to Stadium, but might sign a 6-month extension with Comcast, then move to Stadium when the Sox start their 2025 season. Now, in May of last year, Sinclair Broadcasting sold its controlling interest in Stadium to Reinsdorf, with whom it jointly launched the media company in 2017. Stadium already has a free ad-supported streaming platform, which could be transitioned to a direct-to-consumer streaming app. The Sun-Times said Reinsdorf and his group are also interested in establishing a free over-the-air broadcast window for the NBA, NHL, and MLB teams. Said White Sox Senior Vice President of Communications Scott Reifert, quote, the teams continue to have discussions and conversations about future broadcast plans, and we'll have an announcement about those plans when the time is appropriate. A dissolution of NBC Sports Chicago would leave Comcast with 6 remaining regional sports networks and probably begin to shut her down in total. But we'll just have to wait and see. But congratulations, Jerry. You did something Chris Ilitch talked about doing, but never came to be. You one-upped us, pal. You one-upped us. Okay, let's give you another little shindig of media news. While most of the attention in the recent Paramount deal has been focused on Skydance Media and its play, Byron Allen is eager to point out that he's not yet out of the fray. In fact, he took to the National Association of Broadcasters show to detail just what he'd do if he picked up the entertainment studio. Investors, meanwhile, weren't interested, and shares declined nearly 2% in Monday afternoon's trading. Allen's plan will basically ramp up the merger and acquisition train like there's no tomorrow, as he would look to pull lesser streamers, pretty much anyone who isn't Netflix, under his collective banner. This includes platforms like Max and Peacock, both of which are owned elsewhere and may not be so interested in being acquired. However, given the growing opposition to the Skydance deal from shareholders, Allen may have a slight chance of getting in after all. Both Barry DeCapito and Mario Gabelli recently came out against the deal, joining a growing throng of shareholders who would prefer no sale at all to a Skydance buy. Meanwhile, news emerged about the state of one of the crown jewels for Paramount franchises, Star Trek. It was a good news, bad news situation for Trekkies, as it was revealed that Star Trek Strange New Worlds has been renewed for Season 4. Now, that's impressive enough as it is, as Season 3 is expected out sometime next year. And in a bittersweet moment, Star Trek Lower Decks, the animated Trek comedy that proved amazingly that the park led could make credible villains, is getting a 5th season, which will be its last. Boo! Now, turning to Wall Street, analysts have had a hold on consensus rating on Paramount stock based on 6 buys, 8 holds, and 7 sells. So the future of Paramount, no matter how you slice it, dice it, or julienne it, it's kind of looking very good, but it all depends on who you ask. In pro wrestling, while AEW has continued to lag behind the WWE in attendance and ratings, one area where the promotion has gotten the better of its competitors in the free agent market. Over the past 5 months, AEW has outbid WWE for services of Will Ospreay, Kazuchika Okada, and Mercedes Moné, arguably the 3 biggest free agents at the open market during that time, and it appears they'll now be adding another big free agent acquisition to the mix. BodySlam.net reports that Alex Shelley and Chris Sabin, the Motor City Machine Guns, are finalizing a deal to join AEW. While it was noted that there would be a period before the deal was closed, Shelley and Sabin are said to have made their decision with only the particulars left to be worked out before the duo became All Elite. Considered by many to be one of the most influential tag teams of the modern era, Sabin and Shelley are former 9-time tag team champions, having held titles in AAW, Deadlock Pro Wrestling, GCW, New Japan, Ring of Honor, and TNA Wrestling. The duo achieved their greatest success in TNA, where they had been working before their contracts expired last month, winning the tag titles there 3 times, while also achieving singles success, with Sabin and Shelley holding the X Division title a combined 11 times, along with a reign each as TNA World Heavyweight Champion. Sabin and Shelley are no strangers to AEW either, having previously worked one match for the promotion back at All Out 2022. The duo teamed with longtime TNA ROH co-worker Jay Lethal to take on Wardlow and Cash Wheeler and Dax Harwood of FTR, with the former Pinnacle members emerging victorious after Wardlow pinned Lethal with the Powerbomb Symphony. So we'll have to see what happens. Okay, Google. Okay, let's well, Planet Fitness. I know we're not supposed to do this, but what the hell? Planet Fitness named Colleen Keating as its new CEO effective June 10th. She joins Planet Fitness as the company faces headwinds, including the growing popularity of weight loss drugs like Ozempic and Wegovy, as well as controversies surrounding its locker room policy. So we hope things work out for the best. And more into sports, since signing with AEW in the fall of 2020, it's been a bit of a roller coaster relationship for Miro and the promotion. While there have been plenty of good times, including Miro's reign as TNT champion in 2021, there have been plenty of controversies, including a long absence from AEW TV from mid-2022 to early 2023 that suggests Miro and AEW's relationship has soured. Claims by Miro's now ex-wife CJ Perry that he would look to return to WWE at some point, and what many felt were shots at AEW owner Tony Khan in March when Miro took to social media to clarify his injury status. During an interview with Bill Apter of Sportskeeda, however, Miro seemed to indicate that all was currently well between him and AEW, with the Bulgarian star sharing his favorite aspects of the promotion and what interested him in going to AEW in the first place. I love the freedom of styles that we have. We have people from Mexico, Japan, Bulgaria, England. You just come in and bring your style and fight the way you want to, which I really like. What brought me to this company in the first place is the freedom you get. As for his relationship with Khan, Miro indicated that all was well, praising his boss for what he's accomplished in a short period of time. Tony's great. He's creative. His mind is running always. He always thinks about wrestling. He's always thinking about how to get things better. I respect that. I respect that he loves wrestling, and now he's carried that to the second or one of the biggest companies in the world. And we thank Sportskeeda and Wrestling.inc. Okay. What else we got? Oh, hey, why don't we do this? For Dandelion Fluff, we bring you the scoreboard. That's right, time for the scoreboard. We would be remiss if we did not do the scoreboard and get you a little bit more sports. But if we miss something, don't worry, we'll be on the air tomorrow at 10 o'clock to do all that. Before we do the scoreboard, let's give you a quick update on things, and then we are scoreboard time. First off, a couple of items from college football that we've all been waiting for here in Michigan. The NCAA threatened to suspend former Michigan coach Jim Harbaugh last fall if his attorney did not halt his satirical social media comments of the association's ongoing investigation of the Wolverines football program. In a, quote, letter of admonition, end quote, to attorney Thomas Mars, obtained by our friends at CBS Sports, current NC2A Committee on Infractions Chair David Roberts wrote in October of 23 that if Mars didn't halt his post criticizing the NC2A's investigative process, quote, the COI will consider appropriate penalties, including immediate suspension of your client, end quote. Roberts cited NC2A bylaw 19.4.6/I, which gives the COI authority to, quote, sanction parties and or their representatives for behaviors that inhibit the committee's ability to effectively manage the docket, ensure professional and civil decorum in all proceedings, or otherwise efficiently solve infraction cases. The letter ends with seemingly a final warning from Roberts that read, there will not be any further admonitions, end quote. Mars didn't respond to the NCAA and continued his critical post, but it seems Roberts took no further action. Gee, wonder why. The letter came during dual investigations in Michigan for NC2A recruiting violations during the COVID-19 dead period. And sign stealing. In a Tuesday release, the NCAA said a negotiated resolution has been reached in the first case. One former coach, supposedly Harbaugh, did not participate in the agreement, and that portion of the case will be considered separately by the Committee on Infractions. Roberts' letter was dated October 26, 2023, the week the sign stealing scandal broke. That came during a bye week in Michigan's national championship season. Harbaugh was suspended twice last season, first by Michigan for the first 3 games of the season as a way to mitigate penalties in the first case. He was then suspended by the Big Ten the final 3 regular season games following the sign-stealing scandal. That investigation remains ongoing. Harbaugh's level of complicity in the case was announced Tuesday after allegations he misled the investigators. Harbaugh has said he did not lie to the NC2A. Since Harbaugh has gone to the NFL and a negotiated settlement was reached, Michigan isn't expected to suffer major sanctions. However, Mars said neither he nor Harbaugh were contacted by Michigan or the NC2A regarding the negotiated resolution in this case. Quote, they've obviously changed their position to get this resolved and doesn't surprise me. I can almost hear the wheels of the bus going womp, womp, womp over Harbaugh. So, what does all this mean? Well, note the segue, and then we go over to our sports scoreboard. And we'll start with hockey. Anyway, let's finish up the saga like this. Michigan and 5 former staffers have reached an agreement with the NCAA Committee on Infractions for penalties regarding an ongoing investigation into recruiting and coaching violations committed by the program. Violations involve a list of recruiting and coaching during the COVID-19 dead period, according to a notice of allegations handed out by the NCAA in December. The school faced 4 Level 2 violations regarding staffers, along with a Level 1 allegation against then coach Jim Harbaugh. Mikey, size 4. Hey, Lugs, who's your pick for the NBA Finals? I got Boston versus Phoenix, with the Suns winning in 7 games. Well, I'll give you that answer shortly. The school faced 4, I've already said that. Allegation violation involved texting during the dead period, analysts performing on-field coaching, and coaches watching workouts over Zoom during the shutdown. Michigan also agreed the allegations constituted a violation of head coach responsibility after Harbaugh failed to cooperate with investigators. As part of the agreement, Michigan and its former staff members agreed to several penalties. One coach declined to participate in the negotiation resolution process, leaving it formally open. Here are the little penalties. Michigan will serve a 3-year probation. Michigan will pay a fine and face recruiting restrictions. And the coaches involved will face a 1-year show cause order. Michigan received an initial copy of the notice of allegations in January 23, but managed to slow down the process enough that the 2023 team was not impacted. The 2023 Wolverines ultimately won their first national championship since '97 and first outright crown since '48. Harbaugh vehemently fought the allegations that he failed to cooperate during his tenure at Michigan. After the season, Harbaugh left Michigan for the Los Angeles Chargers, and Michigan dropped its defense. This resolution only addresses the alleged violations against Michigan regarding improper contact. A separate NCAA investigation of Michigan regarding sign stealing and illegal recording surrounding former staffer Connor Stallions remains open. Okay, folks, clap your hands. Here comes the scores. And we're going to start first with Dandelion Fluff's favorite sport, and frankly mine too, one of my favorites. That happens to be Australian football. No, that happens to be the National Hockey League, the NHL. Let's get to it. Then we'll get over to the NBA, and I will give you my pick for the NBA Finals. Let us go to the board. And the NBA, 18 seconds left in the first quarter. It is the Sacramento Kings over the Golden State Warriors, 31-22. Meanwhile, the final score in the play-in game, Lakers over the Pelicans, 110-106. Wow. Let's get you over to the NHL. With 1:48 seconds left to play in the first period, Blackhawks and Golden Knights are scoreless. With 2 minutes and 35 seconds left in the first period, the Vancouver Canucks lead the Calgary Flames 2-0. Some final scores: Senators over the Bruins 3-1. Blue Jackets over the Hurricanes 6-3. In a shootout, the Red Wings beat La Canadiens de Montreal 5-4. Capitals over the Flyers 2-1. Panthers over the Maple Leafs 5-2. And the Jets of Winnipeg beat the Kraken of Seattle 4-3. Let's take a look at the standings as the last days of play begin for the regular season. In the Eastern Conference, in the Atlantic Division, Panthers, Bruins, Maple Leafs, un, deux, trois. In the Metropolitan Division, Rangers, Hurricane, Islanders, un, deux, trois. And in the wild card, oh boy, this is going to really go down to the last game. Lightning have already got the first step in the wild card with 96 points. Now the battle is for the second of the golden tickets to the wild card showdown. Capitals and the Red Wings both have 91 points. All the rest can fight it amongst themselves. Thank you very much. But to be fair, let's go to the other side, the Western Division. Stars, Jets, and Avalanche in the Central. In the Pacific, Canucks, Oilers, and Kings, with the Predators and the Golden Knights in the 1-2 spot in the wild card competition. Blues still with a chance, though let's just face it, that will never happen. Let us now go to where the crayfish go. And everybody else says hello. Can we get over here, please? The standings for the National Basketball Association. Right now, you got the Celtics, Knicks, Bucks, Cavs, Magic, and Pacers in the top six. The Big Four, 76ers, Heat, Bulls, and Hawks. That's in the Eastern Conference. How about the Western Conference? It's the Thunder, Nuggets, Timberwolves, Clippers, Mavericks, and Suns, with the Lakers in 7th, the Pelicans in 8th, the Kings in 9th, and the Warriors in 10th. And do we happen to have, if we do, guys, a updated Biggie 4? Do we have the as we like to call it, before we continue on with any further type of business, let us get to the very conducive, and then there we go, bam. Here we go. Right now, let's see, do we have, come on, guys. The Lakers have the 7th seed in the West. And let's see, playoff-wise, what that means. Yes, let's go to the braquitos. Let's go to the brackets as of right now. Braquitos. Okay, we got that. All right, we got that. Let's see. LA clinches the 7th seed, 110 to 106. LeBron, 22 points, 9 rebounds, and 9 assists. Zion Williamson for New Orleans, 40 points, 11 rebounds, and 5 assists. So, who goes in? Let's go to the bracket and find out if we're able to get to the bracket, guys. Bracket. Thank you. All right. Are you sure this is all the bracket? Come on. Let's see. Do we have the brackets? All right. We do have the brackets, and I wish we had it better. So, okay, come on. Bracket time, boys and girls. Okay, let's go to the schedule then. That should give us the entire slate. And the playoff bracket is ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Because we got baseball and soccer to do. Okay, right now. Here we go. I'll have to do this. In the West, it will be, let's see. We got Thunder. Okay, one bracket is up and in already. I wish there was a way we can get it a little bit bigger for those of us like me with very much the eyesight of a little born gosling. Okay, we'll just do this. We'll just keep talking for a second. Get some things in the runnage. Okay, here we go. Let's see. Game one of okay. Winning get in. There we go. Here we are. Where are we? Who are we? Where are we here? Okay. Denver takes on the LA Lakers. Game one will be Saturday, April 20th, 8:30 on ABC. And that's about what we got right now. Oklahoma City will take on the number 8 seed. That game scheduled for Sunday, April 21st. Time and network to be announced. So the only thing we know right now is on the Eastern Conference, Boston will take on the number 8 seed. New York will take on the number 7 seed. Milwaukee takes on Indiana Sunday, network and time to be announced. Cleveland takes on Orlando. Game 1, Saturday, April 20th at 1 on ESPN. In the Western Conference, Oklahoma City take on the number 8 seed. Sunday, April 21st, network and time to be announced. Denver, as we said, takes on the LA Lakers. Saturday, April 20th, 8:30 p.m. on ABC. Suns versus Timberwolves, also Saturday, April 20th at 3:30 on ESPN. Milwaukee versus the Clippers, Sunday, April 21st, time and network to be announced. And there you go, folks. When we know everything and anything, we'll let you know, and you can decipher from there. Let's get back now to the scoreboard and get things done because we've been everywhere today. So let's get to the scores. And I'm going to just say this. I'm going to agree with you, Mikey. I think Boston and Phoenix will be the one to watch. I would not count the Lakers out. However, I don't think they're going to survive the first round. That's just my opinion. Let's see. Major League Baseball, end of 11 innings. This game just going final. Guardians over the Red Sox 10-7. Top of the ninth. Braves over the Astros 6-0. Top of the fifth. Diamondbacks over the Cubs 4-2. Middle of the fifth inning. Cardinals and Athletics tied at 1. Top of the fifth. Mariners over the Reds 1-0. Top of the third. Dodgers over the Nationals 3-0. Final scores: Tigers over the Rangers 4-2. Orioles over the Twins 11-3. Phillies over the Rockies 5-0. Marlins over the Giants 6-3. A final in 13. Rays over the Angels 7-6. Blue Jays over the hapless Yankees 5-4. Pirates losing to the Mets 3-1. Padres over the Brewers 6-3. Royals and Red Sox were postponed. In soccer action, UEFA Champions League, Borussia Dortmund beat Atletico Madrid 4-2. PSG, Paris Saint-Germain over Barcelona 4-1. In Brazilian soccer, Fluminense and Bahia tied at 1. If that's not enough, in the Argentina soccer, Estudiantes over Lanús 2-1. Boca Juniors over Godoy Cruz 1-0. Racing Club over Belgrande 4-0. Defense y Justicia defeated Newell's Old Boys 1-0. And I think we got a little time left. We don't want to ignore the fans of minor league baseball. So let's get you some scores from the MILB. Okay, let's get you some final scores as we do so well. It's been a long day. My nose is full. And I will agree with you. I think LeBron James, win or lose, will retire. Okay, let's get to the scores. All the scores that are fit to print and fresh haddock. Let's get to it, shall we? We'll get to as much as we can. And just as we like to say, go from there. Okay, right now, bottom of the 8th, Reno leads Salt Lake City 5-1. In the bottom of the 6th, El Paso over Albuquerque 12-4. Bottom of the 3rd, Tacoma over Vegas 1-0. Final scores in AAA: Jacksonville over Norfolk 4-3. Worcester over Durham 7-4. Toledo over Rochester. Rochester over Toledo 2-0. The Qs, Syracuse over Charlotte 9-2. Indianapolis over St. Paul 10-6. Columbus over Buffalo 7-4. Lehigh Valley over Scranton Wilkes-Barre 7-1. Sacramento over Oklahoma City 3-2. Gwinnett over Memphis 6-5. Omaha over Nashville 10-9. Sugar Land over Round Rock 3-2. Iowa over Louisville 8-7. Let's go to AA. Beep beep. Okay, thank you. Bottom 8th, Midland leads Northwest Arkansas 10-3. Top of the 9th, Tulsa leads Wichita 10-4. Bottom of the 8th, Amarillo leads Springfield 10-9. Final scores: Arkansas over Frisco 3-4. New Hampshire over Portland 10-2. Bowie over Altoona 10-4. Binghamton over Reading 3-2. Harrisburg over Richmond 3-2. Akron over Erie 6-0. Hartford over Somerset 5-1. And then 11 innings, it was Tennessee over Montgomery 6-5. The Biscuits went flat. Pensacola, which tastes great but is less filling, over Rocket City 1-0. Corpus Christi over San Antonio 3-2. Biloxi over Chattanooga 3-1. Birmingham over Mississippi 2-1. And we go from AA to high A. Go from AA to high A. High A, thank you. Bottom of the 5th, it's Hillsboro 2, Tri-Cities 1. Also at the top of the 5th, Everett 4, Spokane 1. Final scores: Beloit over South Bend 11-5. Final in 10 innings, Hickory over Greensboro 5-4. West Michigan beat the Great Lakes Loons 4-3. Wilmington over Greenville 7-6. The Jersey Shore over Brooklyn 3-1. Lake County lost to Lansing. Yay! Lugnuts beat Lake County 5-4. Aberdeen lost to Hudson Valley 3-2. Asheville over Rome 4-2. Dayton over Fort Wayne 4-1. Bowling Green over Winston-Salem 7-6. 2 games postponed. Peoria, Quad Cities, and Cedar Rapids in Wisconsin. Both will be made up on April 17th. Okay, we got the single A, and I think that's about it. We'll check the rookie one as well. So, okay, in the top of the 7th, Rancho Cucamonga leads the Inland Empire 8-1. Lake Elsinore over Visalia, bottom of the 6th, 5-4. In the bottom of the 5th, Modesto over San Jose, 7-2. Final scores, Charleston over Columbia, 3-2. Fresno over Stockton, 9-2. Palm Beach over Lakeland, 4-1. Daytona over Bradenton, 5-2. Down East over Delmarva, 1-0. Lynchburg over Salem, 11-4. Dunedin over Clearwater, 10-5. St. Lucie over Tampa, 11-3. Augusta over Carolina, 7-5. Jupiter over Fort Myers, 7-4. Kannapolis over Myrtle Beach, 3-2. And Fayetteville over Fredericksburg, 1-0. And we go from the single A to the rookie league. And here are their scores. There are no games for this state. Okay, we're done. We got about 3 minutes. Well, the thing here says 5, but we'll go for 3. Okay, folks, this has been fun. It's been exciting. It's been a royal trip and a half, and I can't wait till next we meet again with more fun, more excitement, and more little surprises. Hope you all will tune in, will join us, and we'll truly enjoy what we got for you tomorrow as we continue to get back into the swing of things. But for right now, for myself, Steve the Baxman Baxley, for Mr. Matthew the Wizard, Matthew the Wizard Nichols, and Jay the Brain Man, I am Steve the Baxman Baxley, Cuckoo Kachoo, yes, Cuckoo Kachoo, saying thank you very much for joining us. Have a great evening, and we'll see you all tomorrow. This has been a Mystifying Creativity production in association with the L2C Media Network. We'll see you tomorrow night at 10. Good night, everybody.